Hello everybody, Jay Lewis here, the voice of Generation Gaming at your service once again. We're going to go through the Darkest Shore audio files. I believe there's 11 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to go through each of them. We're going to talk about what they mean, or what they might mean, and what it might mean for the next DLC, if you will. Not future DLC. It's kind of hard. These audio files, in my opinion, including the Final Reich ones, kind of just give you a glimpse into the past a little bit, but also give you a glimpse into the future if you're willing to pay attention to them. So let's start out with audio file 23, shall we?
It's working? This is Red Riding Hood, trying to get another message to Ravencrown. Ravencrown, I have not heard from you since I shared our location with you. Gott im Himmel, I don't know if I can get any more out to you. Straub grows suspicious and is critical of my every move.
Alright, so this is kind of talking about Himmler being a little Straub, kind of getting more paranoid, irking towards what exactly is going on this island, because this island is close to Great Britain, and what exactly is going on. Let's get to 24.
You must know, since our last correspondence, Straub has moved up the timetable. Our losses in the east have brought increased pressure from Himmler to begin Operation Sea Lion in a matter of days. I have to go. Please, send in your strike force, soon!
Alright, so this one is kind of what I was just kind of mentioning. A glimpse into the future a little bit, but also in the past. Straub has a timetable. What his timetable is, we're not sure. We're maybe sure a little bit. It's the army. What he wants to release on the army, or when he wants to release his horde of his zombie army, if you will. Also, what I think it's showing is Operation Sea Lion, which was a real operation conducted, or was going to be conducted, by Nazi Germany during World War II. It was Hitler's plan to invade Great Britain, which never happened because Reichsmarshal Hermann Goering, the leader and commander of the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, persuaded Hitler that, well, he could bomb Britain into submission. Well, that obviously didn't happen. A lot of fatal and just horrible mistakes on his part in the Air Force. But what does this mean for Straub and his undead army? Let's keep going and see if we can find out. Let's go to audio file 25.
Ravencrown, this is Red Riding Hood. Things have gotten moderately better here due to an external distraction. Dr. Straub has lost a number of his Meuchlers, the undead soldiers he created as assassins. They are the most monstrous of Straub's rotten children, the most intelligent.
Alright, so this is describing mainly the Meuchlers, or in the German, die Meuchlers, and giving us a sense of what exactly they are a little bit. They're a little bit of their characteristics, if you will. After beating the entire map, beating the Easter egg, they are probably, in my opinion, one of the most annoying boss fights I think I've ever had to deal with. Just because they're so bullet sponge and so OP, but I guess you would expect that from a boss. They are really smart though. I like how they hit and run kind of thing. They don't stay one spot. They don't keep coming after you like other zombie bosses or brutes you would usually do. But the fact that you can see this is why they're running around everywhere. Why they are all in a line. They're lost. They're supposed to be contained, but they obviously aren't when you're playing the game. All right, audio file 26.
His recent experiments with reviving dead brain matter resulted in a more conscious member of his Untoten army.
This one's a little odd to me. So this could mean a number of things. And maybe the files we're going to listen to here in a second might show us that. but it's either the head that he has managed to attach to his body, which is Richter from the Final Reich. Or it is something more than that. Either he's like the Mutilers, they could be referring to that, how they're more intelligent, how he's made them smarter, or something we don't know about yet, something he's created and we haven't seen yet, and we might see in the next DLC. Let's go on to 27.
I'm not sure whether I should celebrate Straub's distraction or not, however. You see, the Meuchlers, they have been escaping from storage. This should not be possible.
This kind of refers to audio file 25 in a way. They should not, like I said, they shouldn't be running around on the island like they are. They're just coming out of every crevice and every spawn hole you could find inside of the bunkers and wherever you are. They're very good at hitting and moving, like I said. So this is it's funny to me. It almost makes me feel like when the Wishlings were in those chambers, there's pods, if you will, in the Final Reich. I think of that, but there's no pods like that on the island. At least we didn't see anything like that at all. So what were they supposed to be contained in? What was the storage they were supposed to be in? Probably won't ever know. Maybe we will. But they obviously are loose on the island. Let's go to auto file 28.
Straub, well, he's furious. Furious and terrified. Because they keep escaping and then coming back. They do not speak much. But one word is clear, repeated over and over again. Mutter. Mutter. It is how we say mother.
Alright, so anybody who's gotten in pretty far in the Easter egg or beaten Easter egg knows what this means. After you find the 3 stone idols, if you will, which are, if you're wondering, there's a secret room that you go into, and there are 3 holes. Well, those are keyholes, if you will. And when you find the 3 idols, you place them in one in each of the holes. And once you put the 3rd one in, the door will roll open. It's a circular door. And you will see 3 Mutilers sitting there. They're crouched, really. And they're obviously praying. And then you'll see this statue of, which I assume is a woman, of Mother. That's what they're repeating. You can't hear it that well. That's the doing. It's the best time if you ever want, just a little side note, if you ever want, you're trying to get the spine from one of them, from your Mutilers, this is the best time to do it because you can hit them before they hit you and they don't react right away. They will once you start hitting. If you were to put on frontline and just hit them right away, you can kill all 3 of them and they won't move at all. It's when you do anything else, shoot them, anything else, they'll pop right up. But they're obviously praying to Mother. What does this symbolism mean? What does this have to do with Barbarossa? What does this have to do with the future? I feel like there's a lot going on here, more that we're not yet, have not fully understood yet. But I have the feeling it's a god they're praying to, and it is of a higher power that we have not found yet. And I think it's going to unleash, and things are just going to only get crazier as we move on in the story, the DLC season of this zombie season, which, in my opinion, is one of the best zombie seasons so far story-wise. I'm loving this story. It's done really well, especially with the Easter eggs. Let's move on to file 29.
Raventown, I still have not heard from you. Straub has tightened security on the island. He has taken my U-boat pens and turned them into his storage locker. My island has become a morgue.
Okay, so first of all, Ravencrown, I don't know who Ravencrown is. Red Riding Hood, remember that one? That is the body, the corpse that gets ripped into 2 behind that freezer door, or in front of the freezer door, excuse me. He's chained up like that. We don't know who that is. I'm pretty sure the Ravencrown is somebody who is supposed to be either he's part of the German army, I'm assuming. I assume. We don't know exactly for sure. But yeah, the Straub is basically, this whole island is basically a morgue. There's so many signs of straight up just evil incarnate and just zombies everywhere. Signs of foul work. Look at the ripsaw. That's bad in itself. Let's go to audio file 30.
He has removed my personal guard, has added monstrous locks to the doors, and now leaves his monsters to patrol the island. Does he not know the history of this island? It is blasphemy!
Alright, so this one is kind of the obvious. Straub has just basically left the island to himself, left the island to the zombies to just take, to the inmates run the asylum. And Red Riding Hood, hold on. Yeah, Red Riding Hood, sorry. This is Red Riding Hood is giving you these audio files. You find Red Riding Hood dead, obviously, so it is either the Mutilers did it, the zombies did it, we don't know if they're intelligent enough to do that, or Straub did this. Like I said, like he just said, he has no personal guard, so it would make sense that he is not alive when you actually reach the island, the 4 characters reach the island. Let's go to audio file 31.
Even now, he carries the head of Richter around on a stick. It is his personal key to areas of the island that I can no longer enter. I cannot do this any longer. Please, send your people, now.
So this is interesting to me. Again, we have the achievement to find Dr. Straub and shoot him. Doesn't do anything to him. You shoot him, that he just walks away. But this time you can obviously see there is something attached to his back, or his shoulders, or shoulder, and it is Richter. Now we don't know what Richter looks like, but we obviously do now. We know who that's Richter because of this audio file. That's how we know that that's Richter on him. But the more interesting thing about this is the fact that he is. Red Riding just said he's a key to parts of the island you can't get to. What does that mean? Are there parts that we haven't gotten to, or parts that are the secret areas that we already found, even though we didn't need a key to get there? We just blew a hole in the wall and basically just jumped through a hole. Or is this something else that we don't know about? It's very interesting. I love how this it makes you think. That's why I love zombie Easter eggs in the stories, because it can go in so many different directions sometimes. Let's get to audio file 32.
This is Red Riding Hood with a final message for Ravencrown. We have new orders. Orders to abandon Operation Sea Lion. I overheard the message from Berlin. You must hurry. You must come. Come now. It was from our Führer. He was begging for rescue.
Now, if there was not a more distinctive audio file or indication that we would be going to Berlin for DLC 2, this is it right here. This is Red Riding Hood with the final message from Ravencrown. You have new orders to abandon Operation Sea Lion, which happened, we know, if you do know anything about World War II, it was abandoned anyway, and then they moved on to fight the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa. But you remember in the Final Reich, and maybe I can find it. I'm not going to do it here. One of the video files in the Final Reich you find, Straub says it would be an army that could run over the entire frozen wasteland of Russia. I don't want to search for it and ruin this order I have going on here, but it's basically what he's saying. And what is this? The Fuhrer, that's Adolf Hitler, obviously. The Chancellor, the Fuhrer, the leader of Germany, of Nazi Germany. And he, is he in peril? Is this a time where he's going to die? One of the interesting things, and I noticed it here, is the time frame that where we are in this DLC. If they abandon Operation Sea Lion, that's around, pretty sure that's 42. But here's the interesting thing. I went on to Cameron Dayton's Twitter page, and I found something very interesting. Let me find it for you, because I don't want to give you the wrong thing. Here it is, right here. Okay. There's a picture of these two documents. It says in camera, it basically says, more documents recovered from wreckage of the LZ-135 Thuls Hoffnung, April 1945. Well, April 1945 is when Hitler was in Berlin, and he supposedly committed suicide in the Reichskanzlei bunker. Well, that's what this audio file says. It's kind of getting an indication that he needs to be rescued. So maybe he won't be dead, or maybe he will be dead, but he'll be a zombie by the time we get there. It's very crazy. It's very cool. I like how they did that. It's leaving that sense of doubt. I like how they're using history and turning it into fiction. What could have been? You know what I mean? Or what? Rewriting history almost in a fantasy way, but making it very interesting. All right, now the last audio file 33.
I fear I do not have much longer. Please send help, Ravencrown. You swore you would. Please. Please.
Alright, this is the last audio file. Basically just shows him just freaking out, having a complete meltdown. And then anybody would have a meltdown on that island, if you think about it. So it kind of leaves a lot to be desired, but I feel like I'm pretty adamant that we're going to Berlin for the second DLC. I know there's some leaks on where DLC 2 is going to be at anyway, so but nonetheless, this kind of just shows us more proof of what we expected on this island and what we might be expecting in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this video. All the audio files from the Darkest Shore DLC 1, the Resistance DLC from Call of Duty World War II. Check us out more here on YouTube, and always live on Twitch 4 to 7 from every day except Sundays and Wednesdays. I'm Jay Lewis, the voice of Generation Gaming, the video game news outlet made for the gamers by the gamers. Join the revolution to put the gamers' voice first.